All right, on to the top 8 now. We have Sudrakon versus HAF or HAF, and another great matchup here. Sudrakon looking to continue his trek towards the final game here in the first ever RuneCup Brazil, hoping to take home a tournament win. So we'll see who is able to take this one home. As always, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button if you do like the video, and we will get into top 8 gameplay. Sudrakon versus HAF. You know, okay, wait. This is some 10-headed card game design if Riot pulls this off, because now that I think about it, right? And I think we're getting into the game, so let me go ahead and get on over there.
And call me?
Well, oh yeah, I'll screen share with you. I got you. Hold on.
All right.
Because we're not in Discord now, so. All right. We're gonna go ahead. And...
Oh my god, shit's called me like 10 times today, you guys. Do you think he likes me?
You're popular, man. All right, let me screen share here. And all right, so what I was saying is this would be some 10-headed card game design if, like you said, Noxus, the lore with Noxus is, right? They conquer all the regions. They want to conquer all the regions. Noxus, I'm going through my head. Noxus Ionia, Yasuo. Noxus PNZ, aggro. Noxus Targon, right now you just said the spell shield, that works. Noxus Freljord, mid-range Frostbite. What else is there? Noxus Shadow Isles. Is there a deck for Noxus Shadow Isles?
I haven't been able to think of one that we're seeing consistently top events.
For Noxus Shadow Isles?
Yeah. I mean, like we've seen Spider aggro in the past. We saw, I mean, Black Boss rose to popularity on his Vladimir Hecarim deck, but we really haven't seen anything come out consistently.
Wait, yeah, what are we talking about? Darrowing was a thing. So, like, there was...
Yeah, but Darrowing's not a thing
No,
anymore.
I know. Well, we did see, what was the other one with Harrowing? But, like, or no, that wasn't Noxus, was it? That was,
no.
That was Demacia. Well, either way, it did happen. So,
yeah, it happened.
It seems like it works with every region. So, if they actually design this card game so good... for the, like, in regards to the lore, that Noxus is the region that can play with every region the entire lifespan of this game. That's really, wow, that's amazing.
I think at that point I would have to be like, okay, you're giving them too much credit,
Yeah, well,
because I think there are like 4 regions that play with every
well
region.
Yeah, so what I was just gonna say is you can also play like every region with every region of this game, which is one of the reasons I like this game. So that might just be a product of the overall game itself and not the lore. But hey, I'm just trying to find some stuff to give Riot credit for. I do like this game.
I'll give them credit for the things they deserve credit for. It is a well-designed card game that I can play so many regions together, but I'm not going to give them the like conspiracy theory jet fuel can't melt Noxian beams. They're invading the world, and therefore they get to play every regional combination.
Hey, man, a man can dream, all right?
Yeah, and speaking of dreaming, Sudrakon going to be dreaming of this victory as he is starting off pretty aggressively here. Gets the Academic into the House Spider, into a Draven, about as good of a curve as he could hope for. Can't even go for the axe, pulled his Bark Beast over to the side and pushed through 8 damage this turn.
Yeah, this is one hell of an opening on the side of Sudrakon. This is definitely what he wants as far as being aggressive is concerned. It looks like he'll also even be able to get the Chompers to push through even more damage. Wow, that is a really good turn. And are we going to see the level up animation? We're seeing it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have Draven is not leveled up.
Well, yeah, no, I think he's going to Axe and Whirling Death to level it next turn.
Damn it.
This is actually a matchup where the Draven level up matters a lot. HAF is going to have a lot of small units like this Hapless Aristocrat that can really stonewall out the aggression of the Draven. So it does behoove you a lot to level it in this matchup, although it looks like Sudrakon is heavily considering playing the Sump Dredger onto the Axe instead. I think this Draven's Biggest Fan can go ahead and get discarded. That Whirling Death in your hand is another Draven, and Biggest Fan won't put Draven on top of your deck unless you don't have any copies on field or in hand. So I do think it actually does behoove you to throw out this Whirling Death and level the Draven this turn.
Yeah, I think Draven gets a lot of work done in this particular matchup. We do see the Jinx already too, so like, I mean, this is kind of the dream, right? I mean, you already have them down to 11 on turn 4. This is one of the better possible hands, I think, that Sudrakon could hope for. Can even get another, like you said, get another Draven to the top, basically putting a Whirling Death at the top of the deck. And
I can't do that. Draven's biggest.
Oh,
fan
it only
if
works
you
when
don't have any
Draven's not on the
Dravens.
field. That's right.
Or in hand.
That feels.
I think it says put Draven on top if you don't have any. I think is like the exact.
You know, I don't think that needs to be like that. I'm surprised they decided to make it like that.
I mean, I could think of some implications of just like constantly spamming Draven's biggest fan and getting a whirling death every single turn while I have a level Draven out.
Yeah, but I feel like it's already a really underplayed card. I mean, I feel like that would just make it a little bit more playable, right?
Yeah, I don't think it like necessarily breaks anything.
Yeah. Well, I actually think I tried playing it maybe 2 weeks or so ago, and I actually forgot that exact interaction the first time, and I was like, wait, why didn't this work? So
Sudrakon still has a potential sort of blowout thing going on next turn. If you go for an attack with this Draven and HAF throws out a Vile Feast, you can level the Draven, throw out the Whirling Death, or, Spinning Axe the Draven, throw out the Whirling Death, level it so it becomes a 4-2, and dodge the Vile Feast. But that only works if HAF plays safely by throwing a blocker in front of it, which in this case would actually be a misplay. It's kind of weird. Playing properly punishes you in this scenario where typically you do always want to throw a blocker in front of something even if you're killing it, just in case there is some way for them to protect it. But you should know in this situation that there's actually nothing that Sudrakon can do to protect this. Don't throw the blocker out, but if we do see this Draven's biggest fan attack, then you could have a blocker come out onto that, and that's how you get the Whirling Death off.
Yeah, and will likely, I mean, next turn as well, Sudrakon's looking to get this Jinx leveled up too, which is...
Oh, he can level it this turn.
Yeah, he can actually level it with a Zonite Urchin. I mean, do you want to get rid of the Whirling Death, though? I feel like I love that card so much.
Me too.
It's such a good card. I want to see it go off. And yeah, it looks like... Okay, now, I called it a little bit too early, guys. But it looks like now... Wait, I don't want to do it again. Do we got it?
I think so. It looks like he's really considering. Oh no, isn't going to go for it. But we are going to see the Draven level regardless.
Let's go. God, I love this animation. So good. Oh my god, yeah. So good. Yeah.
Yeah, we were assuming that the Draven was going to die. That's why we were talking about the Jinx level. We really thought that Draven was getting Vile Feasted.
Yeah, but no Vile Feast coming out on the side of HAF, and yeah, Sudrakon just kind of thinking, all right, how do I go about these next couple of turns here? It looks like he is going to still go ahead and get the Zonite Urchin out. This hand's a little clunky now. This feels a little bad because now he actually can't level the Jinx next turn, it looks like.
I don't think he's too concerned about it. I mean, you get the Jinx down right now. You could still get a big crowd favorite. You have two big Overwhelm units coming at your opponent on your open attack next turn. You have the Whirling Death to even punch through more damage with one of those Overwhelm units if you really want to. Looks like Draven is actually going to die here, though, and if that happens, the two axes that you develop from that do let you level the Jinx.
Yep, those two axes will indeed help him out there, and he could jam the crowd favorite as well and get some additional Overwhelm damage. And yeah, I like this a lot. Sudrakon's going to be going into a pretty big turn as far as damage is concerned, leveling this Jinx, like you said, with the spinning axes and potentially getting a super mega death rocket. Top 5 best card names to say in the game, by the way. What's your favorite?
I gotta say this Sudrakon is haunting my nightmares. It's coming out for Targon relatively soon.
Oh, Sudrakon, Jesus.
I think Slippery Wave Rider might be one of my favorites at the moment, though.
Slippy's up there. Yep. So yeah, you nailed it. It looks like this Draven is going to go ahead and bite the dust, but not before he gives 2 spinning axes over to essentially Jinx. He says, "Here, Jinx, take these axes, go mess some shit up in this game, and start flying rockets at the opponent's face." And that is exactly what is going to happen.
Never mind. We're not leveling Jinx this turn. We're instead going to get the Draven down. And I do think I like that a little bit more.
Yeah, we're still going to end up seeing it next turn and likely a super mega death rocket. Do we take the open attack? Yep. Looks like he is going with a big yes on that.
I mean, there's no punish out of HAF for this, right? Yeah.
Wow, okay. So the aggro.
Yeah.
So wait, so does this all right, so does discard aggro just have a good matchup versus Endure? Because that's twice now that we've seen it do pretty well against Endure.
Okay, well, the first... I'm not really going to count the first time.
I don't know.
I don't know. So the problem is HAF doesn't run Neverglade Collector, which is the card that we talked about as sort of the big focal point for the Endure deck in that matchup. So HAF not having it available to him, I definitely think Sudrakon's going to have a better time against HAF's Endure than he would against a normal kind of Endure deck. So I'd have to see the matchup one more time before I'm really willing to be like, okay, yeah, discard aggro's favorite against Endure Spiders.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree. I'm just, you know, I gotta pose the question. I gotta put it out there. We gotta see if it's gonna be the case or not. But getting what I think, anyways, is the harder deck to win with out of Sudrakon's lineup, out of the way. So I think he's putting himself in a really good spot now to go ahead and take home some victories with this Gangplank Sejuani and this They Who Endure with Hecarim in it.
Yeah, it should be fine. You know, the Gangplank Sejuani I do really like into the Endure deck. You have so many off-turn activators. This Sejuani will just completely steamroll the matchup if you can get it leveled and get a couple of activators. And these Make It Rain's going to be pretty good for off-turn activating the level ups if that is the route that Sudrakon wants to go. Even top decks the Ruthless Raider so that he can guaranteed push through some damage this turn, start to tick towards those evolutions. Is looking for a Monkey Idol though, and actually going to play this one slow. Going to go for an attack with the Butcher. Huh. It's strange to me, to be honest. I
mean, maybe hoping for a Make It Rain once a unit comes down here. You kill the token, and okay, that is a
gets
damn
the Sentry,
good,
the perfect card.
That is exactly what Sudrakon was hoping for. Gonna go ahead, get that damage onto the Nexus, start the level up process here with Gangplank and Sejuani. And I gotta say, it's been refreshing today to see so many leveled up Sejuanis. We've had a drought because of mid-range Frostbite of Sejuani's just being ignored, just blatantly being ignored. Nobody cares about the leveled up Sejuani, and now with this Gangplank Sejuani, we are seeing it. Wow! So Sudrakon's surprised by this as well.
Sudrakon was actually so one thing I want to touch on that turn before, it looks like he was playing around exactly Avarosan Sentry because that was sort of the only punish for the Ruthless Raider play as well, and then just played into the Make It Rain absolutely beautifully because if any other 2-drop comes down, you can still just push through damage with the Raider.
Yeah, I mean, great on his part to actually go ahead and do that.
Oh my gosh, that's a big one to steal. Gangplank and Sejuani, you have the Overwhelm available to you, and I believe he's playing the Elusive package as well.
God. So we were concerned about Battle Fury in this They Who Endure deck. Well, what about Battle Fury and Sejuani Gangplank? I think it might be okay.
Do you ever just steal a card from your opponent with Nab and go, what if I just started main decking
this?
Yeah,
definitely. Well, and then a lot of times I'm disappointed because then I realize it's from a region that I don't already play, and then it just feels bad.
I mean, he does have Freljord that he could main deck this Battle Fury.
In this case, yeah, he could actually main deck it. So, wow, these Make It Rains. So good. So good.
Yeah, and even gets the hit onto face to get that off-turn activation. Does mean he'll be able to hang on for this Yordle Grifter warning shot until next turn, but it looks like he's going to go for the Gangplank instead, just try to push through as much damage as possible next turn. Actually will have the Battle Fury because it's at a reduced cost even. Oh, this is about to be a big attack for Sudrakon.
This is great. You gotta love to see it. Gotta love these Nab. He's smirking too. He knows it.
He's about to hit his opponent for at least 12 damage. We'll have 2 warning shots with the Yordle Grifters representing, you know, okay, he actually has lethal presented over a couple of turns thanks to this Petty Officer. We'll have 2 barrels to pair with the warning shots and potentially push through the 4 damage.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, many props to Sudrakon if he just jams this 7-mana Battle Fury on turn 6.
I feel like it was actually correct.
To play it, I think it might have been too, to be honest, because that's a lot of pressure. And you're making your Gangplank now so incredibly hard to kill because HAF is playing Endure. There is no removal for an 8 health or 9 health unit. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, and then as I had mentioned, like, you put your opponent at 4. You have Warning Shot with the Barrel. Next turn, you have Petty Officer and to Yordle Grifter. Warning Shot with the Barrel. That's lethal. But HAF gets a Thorny Toad off of his Death Rattle unit, which actually means that he will have a little bit of heal available to him, which he normally wouldn't because he doesn't have any Bladed Caretakers in this deck, but will actually be able to heal up by 2. And Sudrakon, you got to play this Battle Fury, man. You can't steal this card and not play it. And you have an Overwhelm unit. You have such a good target.
I will be a little pissed if he doesn't play this card before the end of the game now. Like, I mean...
Like, it has to come down onto Ruthless Raider if nothing else, right?
The problem is he might actually... Well, I mean, why not Gangplank?
Just any Overwhelm unit, I just want to see this thrown down onto.
Because it's actually possible for Sudrakon to just win without Battle Fury right now, just because of how big his field is. He's going to have a leveled Gangplank soon. Like, so much is happening. Yeah, it's going to be really disappointing to not see this. Sudrakon, I think, is in a really good spot. I mean, look at these trades he's going to be feeling pretty good about. the Chronicler is going to survive on the side of HAF here. Actually opting... So, would you go ahead and block with these black market merchants here?
I don't think it matters too much. I mean, you are still potentially stealing one card off that other Yordle Grifter. I don't think these Spiderlings are necessarily something that I'm worried about. I think it's fine to go ahead and pull this back. The one thing that you do have to be cognizant of right now is your opponent Endure and Atrocity. How big is the Endure? I'm not sure. It's definitely not a 1919. Killing these Spiderlings also won't put it at a 1919, but you do want to keep it as small as possible. That is sort of the one comeback potential that your opponent always has available to them.
Yeah, and we're going to see the glimpse come out. Probably could have guessed that one at this point in the game from HAF. Like I said, that Chronicler is going to survive. But overall, pretty okay turn for both players. Now Sudrakon's going to be able to develop again some more units, possibly the Petty Officer, possibly this Yordle Grifter here. But the Gangplank for sure is going to go ahead and get the level up. And this is going to be pretty big. I mean, this is going into an attack turn here. That entire board on the side of HAF is going to go bye-bye. And Thorny Toad, what? somehow, even though this isn't a deep deck, I feel like this Thorny Toad is also not going to die. Like, this card just sits there forever.
I mean, it's going to get thrown out in front of the Gangplank to block it, and then we're going to see the Battle Fury lethal, I imagine.
I'm hoping, that's for sure.
Unless HAF Battle Fury's the Thorny Toad in response, because he does play 2 copies.
That would be... that's...
I think we still have lethal from... Well, no, because every other attacker out of Sudrakon is actually just going to get blocked by all of the dying units from HAF, so they won't actually represent any damage. It's all in on Gangplank for now, baby.
Yeah, and I want to see it happen, to be honest with you. That would be some next level stuff, though, if we see a Battle Fury on the Thorny Toad as well. One of the, I feel like lately, since Rising Tides has come out, I don't know if this will be more of a problem or not. I mean, how do you feel about the 6 spots for units? Do you like it? You think it should be more or less?
I definitely don't think it should be more.
Okay.
I think 6 is a fine number. I think this is that's always one of the hardest things to figure out when you're building up a game is if I do want to have a limited number of slots, how many's the right number?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times, especially with cards like Petty Officer or Shadow Isles in particular, there's a lot of problems with having a full board. I will say Shadow Isles could get quite out of control if you even added 1 slot to that and made it 7.
Yeah. I do really like that you're allowed to overwrite your own units. I think that made me a lot more okay with the 6.
Yeah, that was a huge change. Very glad to see that. And okay, well, now we definitely have to see the Battle Fury come out. And
HAF is off of Battle Fury mana. Yep. Sudrakon's might cost 7, but yours doesn't. Throw it out, Sudrakon.
Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Looks like he's considering the implications of something like an Atrocity onto his Gangplank from this 5/8 Thorny Toad.
I mean, but then you get rid of an Atrocity, and I mean, are you really that concerned about that happening right now?
No, especially throwing it onto the Gangplank. You are representing lethal, even if the Thorny Toad... Because if the Thorny Toad gets Atrocity on the Gangplank, it's not killing the Gangplank, and you're pushing through 11 damage anyway.
Yep. Wow.
So, yeah, this should be lethal out of Sudrakon. I don't think there's anything HAF can do, and we do actually get to see the Battle Fury for lethal stolen away. Oh, man.
See, this is why... I think somebody actually said it. Yeah, so M1 in chat. Guys, whenever... This is why you don't play cards, ever. You just can't play anything in your deck because it's just going to get stolen.
My grandpa's deck only has pathetic cards. Steal that, Yugi boy.
So it doesn't matter what you steal. They're all useless.
Sometimes when I play someone on ladder, I'm like, that was your strategy, wasn't it? It was just... So that is something... Anytime I play against discard aggro with Nab, I'm like, man, your deck sucks. I now have 2 Flame Chompers and a Jury Rig, and I'm just like, what am I going to do with this? I didn't want this shit. I don't even really want to play these.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we've seen... I gotta say, we keep getting surprised game in and game out of everything that's been going on today. Just Battle Fury's being ripped from other people's decks now for game. We're seeing Fizz in the top 8. This is just a spicy game today. Gotta love to see it. All right, starting off with the Heck... Now, I wanted to keep the Hecarim just because we've seen this deck so many times today, and we haven't seen it yet. I know it's not going to happen.
What you mulligan the Hecarim? You're a combo deck, essentially. Once the Cursed Keeper Ravenous Butcher got added, you definitely felt like you kind of had to mulligan like a combo deck. Yeah,
imagine we see the we're gonna see the Cursed Keeper keeping Keeped. Is keep the word? Kept. Wow.
Oh, yeah, kept. It's just kept.
It's just kept. Oh,
It's the cursed Kepter.
Jesus Christ. My English is failing me now, too. First math, now English. Ooh, it's a rough Sunday, guys.
And you were thinking about trying to learn French and Portuguese.
It's going to happen, right? I got this. And I am Portuguese.
I'm on a 5-day streak in Duolingo with my Korean again.
Look at you. There we go. See, we gotta support each other, motivate each other on these language things. We got this. All right, poking that 1 damage through on the Cursed Keeper here. Also see a Blighted Caretaker in hand, followed by a Wraithcaller on turn 4, and another Wraithcaller. This is a hand. This is a hand. This is very potential. Or actually, attack token. Okay, so Sudrakon's also going to have the attack token on turn 6 with Hecarim. This is a very good chance that this is a blowout, depending on what HAF has here.
I think Sudrakon just has to leave. I think he just has to pass. Like, if you go for a glimpse onto this Cursed Keeper and it dies, that's going to feel so bad. It's really not going to cast HAF anything. He's willing to pass the turn anyway. Yep. The mana that he would commit is nothing, especially if it's like a Make It Rain that he's throwing out onto it, because against this version of Endure Spiders, the Make It Rain gets a lot less value. Obviously, you don't want to throw out your Bladed Caretaker into something like this. I think you just have to pass this and let the Wraithcaller come down next turn and kind of let that carry the game until you can get a little bit more value with this later on. I don't think the 4-3 is really worth it.
Yeah, I got to agree. I would just pass here as well. I mean, your opponent is going to go ahead and lose 2 mana to your 1, which also feels... Sorry, 3 mana to your 1, which feels pretty good. Yep, and we do see the Wraithcaller come out here. Chance we could see the Glimpse Beyond come out this turn now. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what HAF plays for a unit here on his turn. Just looking at some of the potential plays, too. So we have, on turn 4 anyways, we could see... Zap probably won't come out. He's got full spell mana. We could even see a Twisted Fate come out here. That also would not seem that great, and it looks like he is deciding to go Twisted Fate. I don't know. This seems to be kind of a weak hand on the side of HAF, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, passing the first 3 turns is probably a heavy loaded hand, which is something that we've seen the Twisted Fate decks, the Swain deck specifically version of the deck struggle with a little bit recently. You know, Leviathan, Riptide Rex, Swain himself even is 5 mana. There's a decent amount of things that you can get clunked up on. As well as just, I mean, if your hand is even all removal spells, were you really going to spend mana to kill anything on Sudrakon's board?
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's, you know, we keep praising Leviathan. It's like, you know, well, did we mention Leviathan's the best follower in the game, but like, you know,
he's fat.
On turn 8, he's the best follower in the game.
Yeah.
So, similar to Riptide, too. You know, there is one Riptide in HAF's deck as well, so it's very likely there could be one of those in hand. We do see the Death's Hand come out, gonna prevent some of this damage coming through by Sudrakon, but, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see if this Hecarim strategy is going to pay off for Sudrakon here. We've been talking about it all day. We've seen this deck play a couple times, and finally we're seeing it on curve here going into turn 6. Will this just be a hell of an attack turn from Sudrakon?
I mean, HAF plays Arachnoid Sentry, so not open attacking... I mean, like, open attacking does get a little bit scary sometimes. Also, I feel like I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd time we've seen Petty Officer summon this 4/3 ephemeral.
This is a popular choice.
You ever feel like some days RNG is just weighted a certain way?
Yeah. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it is RNG, but, you know, try convincing somebody of that. You know, we're all human. We're not going to believe that. So we see the open attack before the Hecarim, man. No Hecarim, turn 6. God, I just want to see this card get played.
You have to respect the Arachnoid Sentry, right?
Yep.
And it does, as much as it's like, okay, well, like, you played a guy, I played a guy, you stunned my guy, but, like, I do develop another blocker that can then kill something like your Wraithcaller. You're not getting anywhere near as much damage through it. It's not worth it to risk it.
It's also a fearsome blocker in general. So, yeah, I tend to agree with you. Looks like HAF really valuing his life total here. Going to go ahead, use that ghost blocker, so to speak, kill off one of these Wraithcallers. Still taking 4 damage at 11 now. Ooh, it's kind of an awkward turn now. I mean, what do you play here on the side of Sudrakon?
Probably Hecarim.
I mean, Hecarim...
I also don't hate Callista.
I was going to say maybe Cursed Keeper and then Callista. Maybe that's an option. And then maybe, you know, wait to play Hecarim at the end of your opponent's next turn. Looks like he's opting to pass on the Cursed Keeper, though. Going with the Callista. Oh, and going... Oh, okay. Good. Just gonna level up.
Gonna
Okay.
level the
Yep.
Callista. I like this
I
a
do
lot,
too, yeah.
getting the Callista out of the 3 range while you have the opportunity.
Yeah, good play on the side of Sudrakon, getting that level up there. One of the many reasons why Bloody Caretaker is so freaking good, being able to auto level that Callista. And we didn't even get to use those Challenger saplings, and it was still a pretty good card. So
And I think that's fine. Sudrakon not playing the Hecarim on turn 6, instead going for an open attack, kind of implies that he really isn't comfortable going for open attacks in this matchup, which means that you're never going to find a good opportunity, or rather not going for open attacks, which is why you're never going to find a good opportunity to play that Bladed Caretaker. It really only gets maximum value. I mean, you can get value on the block turns, but HAF isn't really going wide in a situation where that's going to matter. He's only attacking with a single Fearsome unit where those units wouldn't matter anyway. So instead, you kind of concede, okay, I'm never actually going for a development into an attack, so I'm never going to use these saplings. Let me just level my Callista with them. So I think we are going to see either Endor or Hecarim come down here. Either one. Both of them represent 9 damage. You know, Endor just does it all on 1 unit and with a little more streamlined on the way that it gets done, but could develop a Bark Beast alongside the Hecarim as well if he wants to push through it a little extra damage.
yeah, I mean, I feel like this is it. I mean, this is the turn to go ahead and play this Hecarim. And again, yeah, I do agree with you. Playing it possibly alongside this Bark Beast would be good. I mean, you got to get one of these Hecarims down, right? I mean, you have another one in hand. At what point do you just say, okay, we're going for it? I actually don't think They Who Endure is a better play. Like, I'd rather it be a bigger They Who Endure. So that way you kind of represent, okay, this They Who Endure is lethal with Atrocity. And, yep.
Especially with how much the Hecarim and Callista feeds into the Endor. Even if nothing else happens and nothing else dies, you're still going to have 3 ephemeral units coming out next turn to turn that Endor into a 12-12.
Yeah, and wait a second. Okay, hold on. All right. How did he get the shark?
Was that...
Oh, was that... Wait, Jesus.
Was that what was...
Oh, was that Warden's Prey? Okay. I was like, wait a second. Is this a main deck Shark's Chariot? What's going on here?
I was like, did I miss that one? I thought I caught all the sauce in all these decks.
Yeah, and gonna go ahead, see this Hecarim finally in action. I was gonna say, there's a little too many units on the board, or gonna be on the board.
Yeah, I think you attack with
2-1,
the Bladed Caretaker.
Bada bing, bada boom. Got a bunch of free units. Free Wraithcaller, which is, wow. This is the most units I've seen on a board over the 6, technically. Like, that's kind of nuts.
I've seen a couple of full boards and benches from Callista Rekindler nonsense.
Yep. And we'll see what HAF decides to go ahead and block here. I think, honestly, this is just not looking good for HAF. The second Sudrakon draws into an Atrocity as well. That is not going to be looking too hot. Not to mention, yeah, we have this 7 mana thing in hand that after this turn is going to be incredibly large. So good luck dealing with that.
Yeah. Even if HAF manages to develop Leviathan Swain at this point, I don't think that's going to be enough. Even if you're stunning out the 3 strongest units, that's like Hecarim, Endor, Callista. My other units do all have 4 attack. If you're going to keep throwing your Swains and your Leviathans in front of that to preserve your ever-dwindling life total, you're going to run out of either Swain or Leviathan pretty quickly.
Yeah, and really the only option to kill something like a They Who Endure... So there is a Noxian Guillotine that HAF is playing a 1 of, so he does have some options to just straight up kill the They Who Endure, but again, that's, considering Sudrakon actually doesn't have something like an Atrocity, but... Yep, we're going to see all these blocks line up. We're going to put HAF down to 6 life. And God, look at that beautiful, beautiful board of Callista, Hecarim, and Jesus. That is a big board, man. I'm just so happy to see Hecarim. I'm never mad when somebody plays Hecarim. I'm always actually really excited when people play Hecarim because we've had this discussion before. I still feel like, and we both still feel like he's a really good champion. He just doesn't really have quite the place in the meta or in a specific deck, and maybe he can finally find his way into They Who Endure after this.
So something buck wild that could happen here if HAF develops a Leviathan here and the Hecarim gets stunned is you can play a unit over your Hecarim and then play the Hecarim in your hand over that unit.
To basically redevelop a Hecarim.
Yeah, to get an unstunned Hecarim to go for the attacks.
I mean, if you're going for lethal, then yeah, I guess that's the play, right? I wish I could read Portuguese right now, not gonna lie.
I'm curious. I wonder if Sudrakon. I don't speak Portuguese, but I wonder if Sudrakon is asking if he meant to pass.
Oh, maybe that's why he's waiting. Yeah, he's probably like, wait, did you accidentally?
This pass like just loses the game, right?
Oh, is he saying he didn't mean to pass?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty.
Either that or he's saying he has nothing.
I think he's saying he didn't mean to pass, which is why he's...
It's awkward because, like, Sudrakon would be forced to develop then in order to, like, give half his turn back. And he has to, like, develop onto a board he doesn't want to develop onto.
What do you do? What do you do if you're Sudrakon?
I mean, if I'm Sudrakon, I take my 3-0 and I move on to the top 4. Obviously, that's not how you want to do it, but, like, I'm not going to, like, kneecap my own game plan just to fix the mistake that happened to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And, well...
If it cost me nothing, sure, but it's actually going to cost me card advantage.
The problem, too, is I mean, yeah. Especially when it's not like Sudrakon's behind. Like, Sudrakon's well ahead at this point, yeah. And I don't think there's really any way that... Yeah, I don't think there's any way. He said turn past accidentally. Yeah, that's kind of what it... Yeah. Yeah, you say shucks, basically. Yeah, I mean, I feel... It doesn't make me feel any less bad for my opponent, but, like, it's just...
Like, it's not like you accidentally passing means that I'm just going to hand you the win back.
Like, out of a... okay, gotcha. Yeah, exactly. Like, he was so far ahead. There's no way. There was just no way. So, I'm going to bring it back.
I don't think the ended up mattering on that one. I think Sudrakon had that one all cleaned up regardless.
All right, Sudrakon gonna advance to the top 4 now. Getting close. He might be able to go ahead and take this one home for Brazil, so we'll see what happens. As always, everybody, these videos, you know, they'll be out probably in the next day or two. We will have the entire tournament all the way to the finals. So, but as always, everybody, stay healthy, stay positive. I hope it just works you. Peace out.